go now.
Papa!
Tiago, go with your mother to the trap. Take this. It will always be your guide.
Yes, Papa.
We will join you shortly.
Xavier, the painting.
La maledicción. This way.
Senora, it is too late. Go.
No! Papa!
Senor, in here.
Search them. Of course. Paris in the spring. Passion, romance, l'amour. I was working in art insurance. It paid the rent, just about. And then, by chance, I met Nico at a private view.
You didn't tell me that you were back in Paris, George?
We should catch up. Let's have lunch.
Nobody move!
Non, monsieur, not la malédiction. Oh.
Stay back.
Once again, Paris had shown me her dark side. A brutal robbery, a senseless murder. Nico and I were about to be drawn into a new and terrifying adventure together. The gallery owner was dead. I guess sometimes playing the hero doesn't pay. My company had insured the exhibition, so I had a crime to solve. The cops would be here soon. I didn't have much time. Poor guy. Poor guy. The priest was giving last rites to the gallery owner. I didn't want to interfere. Excuse me, Father.
Yes, my son.
I'm George Stobart. My company insured the exhibition.
My name is Simeon.
Is there anything I can do?
You can pray for his soul.
A senseless murder.
On the contrary, this killing makes plenty of sense.
What do you mean?
A great evil has taken place. This is the work of the devil.
What?
I am a Dominican priest. I know these things. And now, excuse me, I must pray.
1 minute I'd been planning dinner with Nico. The next I was talking art theft, murder, and the devil with a priest. In Henri's pocket was a tiny bottle. It was a bottle of Brett. The label claimed it would wake the beast within. There was a small piece of paper in the dead man's hand. It was too intriguing not to take a look. It read, 2:30 p.m., be ready. Innocent enough, until I realized that the robbery took place at 2:30 p.m. There was something fishy going on around here, and it wasn't just the canapes. I quickly replaced the note. Poor guy. He definitely looked better. I always wondered who bought those white-framed glasses. Now I knew. I put the glasses back where they were. Best to leave the evidence the way I found it. I didn't want Henri's blood on my hands. There was no way anyone would have survived that. A cryptic note in a bottle of overpowering cologne. No personal effects or anything else of substance. I needed to find where he kept his records. It was Hector Lane, France's greatest art critic. We'd met before. It hadn't ended well. For a moment, I thought he was dead, but from the snoring, I guessed he'd only fainted. Lane had fainted. I was going to have to find a way to revive him. Time to awaken the beast. What?
What was that? It smells like the 70s. Where am I?
You fainted. The nail clippers were monogrammed with the letters HL. Hector Lane. They must have fallen out of his pocket. Welcome back to the land of the living.
I wouldn't exactly call this living. Don't just stand there. Get me something to eat. I've had a terrible shock, you know.
Lane had the kind of looks that only a lifetime of fine dining can create. Excuse me, Mr. Lane.
Food! My nerves demand food!
It was a blob of chewed gum. The bust was balanced precariously on the pedestal. I didn't want to knock it off. That bust was pretty impressive. I wondered who'd been the model. $70,000? Oh, cheap at half the price. The alarm still worked on that painting. I wondered why the stolen painting's alarm hadn't sounded. All I needed was a mere $65,000, and this little gem could be mine. All I needed was a mere $55,000. Huh, shame. Just outside my price range. The thief left the pizza box behind. I wondered what was in it. Well, no surprise there. Pizza. The guy must have been hungry. There was only one slice left. No one had noticed the pizza box fall onto the floor. I decided to leave it alone. I found a slice of pizza.
I asked for food, boy, not a cardboard simulacrum.
Oh, okay, if you don't want it.
I didn't say that. Now give it here. Given the circumstances, that was surprisingly acceptable. Now, what's been going on? Oh, Henri, is he
Dead? Afraid so.
poor chap? Just like him to steal the limelight, though.
Excuse me.
Do I know you?
Yes, our paths have crossed in the Glees Gallery.
Of course, the man with the absinthe. I don't suppose you...
Afraid not.
Pity. I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble remembering your name.
I'm George Stobart. I insured the exhibition.
I hope you have deep pockets then, my boy.
Could I ask you a few questions, Mr. Lane?
Fire away.
Do you know anything about the stolen painting?
Of course, dear boy. La Maledictio, a little-known work, turned up at the last minute.
What about the killer? Were you able to get a look at him?
A delinquent in a tin hat. Beyond that, I don't really recall.
Oh, yeah, you fainted.
Those of us with a higher aesthetic are more sensitive to violence.
So you curated the exhibition? What's it about?
A brilliant retrospective. A dialectical window on European art's ongoing discourse with the unresolved psychoses of the nation-state.
Wow, you took the words right out of my mouth. What can you tell me about the stolen painting?
La Maledictio, a challenging piece. If you like a wide cast of obscure saints and fringe Christian symbolism, of course. Not especially valuable, though. The thief won't get much for it on the black market.
Who painted the stolen painting?
Therein lies a mystery. We only know his pseudonym, El Serp. He was a Catalan, a modernist. His works are symbolic, religious.
How long had you known Henri?
As a friend, many years. Our professional relationship had only recently blossomed into this exhibition, under my curatorial wing. And now the poor fellow's gone and got himself killed.
How about some more of this?
I don't think so. As a sel volatile, it was acceptable. As a cologne, it would be barbaric.
Are these your nail clippers?
Of course. See, they're monogrammed with my initials.
The door was locked with a keypad. The wires from the camera ran into the room behind. It must have captured the whole robbery. If I could get the code to the keypad, I might be able to shed some light on the crime. Lane worked with Henri, so he was likely to know the code. I need to ask you a few more questions.
If you insist. I'm still in shock, you know.
So, you help run this place? Maybe you can give me the code to that door.
The code to the office?
I just thought you might have the number.
I do, but I couldn't possibly give you access before the police arrive.
I figured I wasn't going to get the door code from Lane by playing nice. I needed to turn the heat up. Mr. Lane, you're really going to have to give me the code to that door.
And why, pray, should I do that?
Because the way the cops will see it, you're the prime suspect. We both know you're innocent, Mr. Lane, but the cops, well, they may not see things so simply. I might be able to get them off your case, but in exchange, I'd like the code for the office door.
But that's preposterous. The police would have neither evidence nor motive.
Well, not yet.
Not ever. And now this inane discussion is over.
Lane was right. I had nothing to use as leverage to extract the door code. I needed to keep searching the crime scene. This was where the stolen painting had hung. Why that painting? And why kill for it? The stolen painting had an alarm, which should have sounded when the painting was removed. I needed to find out why it hadn't. It was a small door. I guessed the alarm circuitry was inside. So that was why the alarm hadn't sounded. A wire had been cut by someone who knew exactly what they were doing. This was an inside job. It was the speaker cone for the alarm. It hadn't sounded when the painting was stolen. The button bypassed the pressure pad system. Cutting the wire had disabled the pads. The label said it was painted in 1932. The gallery wanted 80 grand for it. Just 90,000 for this one. The door was marked. I still needed to figure out the code to that keypad. The door was marked private. I still needed to... Another painting with a working alarm. Another working alarm. So the thief took the only painting whose alarm had been sabotaged. But why that painting? Why that particular one? A rare glimpse into the absinthe-addled mind of the artist. A snip at only 80 grand. I didn't think there was any need to test another painting alarm. It was clear that only one alarm had been sabotaged. The cable for the camera ran into the room marked private. Poor guy. Here today, gone tomorrow. There's nothing quite so lonely as a dead man's toupee. Poor guy. Poor guy. Poor guy. Father?
Yes, my son.
Do you know the code to get into the office?
No, but you could always pray and ask for divine guidance.
With respect, Father, I'm looking for a slightly quicker solution. What brought you to the exhibition, Father?
The painting.
Which one?
La Maledictio, of course.
The painting that was stolen.
I had to confront the evil.
Tell me about the stolen painting.
Whoever gets close to it will burn in hell.
What did you mean when you said that a great evil had taken place?
Your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour.
What?
Peter 5:8. The devil is all around, Mr. Stobart.
A wire in the painting's alarm was deliberately cut.
Cut by the devil himself, perhaps.
Well, as far as I know, sightings of guys with horns and tails have been a little down recently.
You mock me, Mr. Stobart. But as you will discover, the devil likes to have the last laugh.
I think there's something strange going on here.
Yes, Mr. Stobart. At last you see the truth.
No, Father. I mean that the robbery looks like an inside job.
The devil's work is always an inside job.
Did Henri say anything before he died?
He said, "Stop the car. I want to get in."
What does that mean?
We may never know.
What do you know about the man who painted La Maledictio?
El Serp. He was a man playing with fire, the fire of eternal damnation.
Hey, Father, how about a squirt?
I think not.
Do you recognize these?
Nail clippers. I'm not sure what your point is.
Lane had the kind of looks that only... Don't suppose you've changed your mind about giving me that door code?
Certainly not. Give me one good reason why I should.
I might just do that, Mr. Lane. Someone sabotaged the alarm on the stolen painting. A wire was cut.
What? Who could have got into the alarm system?
Exactly. It was an inside job, Mr. Lane.
You're not suggesting that I...
Well, I'm afraid that's the way the cops are going to see it.
That's preposterous. How could I possibly have cut the wire?
Are these your nail clippers, Mr. Lane?
Yes, they have my initials monogrammed on them.
Huh. The perfect implement for cutting the alarm on the stolen painting.
What are you saying?
Well, the alarm was sabotaged, Mr. Lane. It was an inside job.
Are you accusing me? How dare you? I had no reason to kill Henri, no motive whatsoever.
Okay, but I don't think the cops will see it like that. And I sure would like that door code. This is an inside job for sure, Mr. Lane. The police are going to be very interested in your recent movements.
I've been out of town for several days, and last night I retired early.
Just saying.
You're not going to scare me into giving you that door code, you know.
I was onto something here, and I knew it. Lane was sweating. It wasn't pretty. How about it, Mr. Lane? Ready to give me the door code yet?
Certainly not. Give me a single reason why I should.
Guilty by way of nail clippers.
I've been away from Paris for several days and only got back this morning. How could I have cut that wire?
Guilty by way of nail clippers.
Sheer fantasy. What possible motivation could I have to sabotage the alarm?
Mr. Lane, this robbery is not going to reflect well on you.
As I said, I shall take my chances. You're not getting that door code.
I hate to say this, Mr. Lane, but you're going to be the #1 suspect for this murder.
So you keep saying, Mr. Stobart.
So you'd been out of town and hit the sack early last night?
That's right. I've not been near the gallery for days. Ugh, keep that noxious potion away from me.
I decided to leave it alone. The street was quiet and upmarket, not the kind of place for an opportunist thief. The room looked like some sort of office for the gallery. I could just see the glow of the CCTV monitor in the corner. It looked like the office for the gallery. That would be pointless. Nico wasn't answering her phone. No surprise. Hello, Mr. Rickenbacker?
Stobart, what do you want?
Mr. Rickenbacker, there's been a problem.
Why does that surprise me? This better not involve the Blue Lizard.
Afraid it does, sir. There's been a robbery.
Oh, terrific.
Only one painting was stolen, though.
Well, what are you wasting time talking to me for? Find that painting, or find a way to avoid paying out. Two ways to keep your job, Stobart.
I see. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Anything else you gotta tell me?
The thief had a gun. He shot the gallery owner dead.
We insured him too?
No, sir.
Well, that's one piece of good news. At least tell me you got some leads.
I'm pretty sure the security was sabotaged. The alarm was disabled for that one painting.
So, it was an inside job. Who else is at the gallery?
There's a guy called Hector Lane.
Lane? Why does that name sound familiar?
He's an art critic. I think he's connected to the exhibition.
Now, could it be him?
Well, he's rude and ugly. It's certainly possible.
So squeeze him, Stobart. Squeeze him till he squeals.
If I was going to squeeze Lane, I needed longer arms than these.
Find out who disabled the security system, then find that painting. And don't call back until you have.
It looked like the office for the... You gotta hand it to the French. They know how to take a leak in style. I've always been a sucker for Parisian stained glass. From out here, you couldn't see the stolen painting. This robbery was definitely planned. Father?
Yes, my son.
Is there anything else you can tell me about La Maledizio?
I've said everything I care to on the subject.
Do you know anything else about El Serp?
I've already told you everything I can.
How about it, Mr. Lane? Ready to give me the door code yet?
Certainly not. Give me a single reason why I should.
Guilty by way of nail clippers.
I've been away from
So you'd been out of town and hit the sack early last night?
That's right. I've not been near the gallery for days.
That wouldn't work. There wasn't anything loose to snip. The clippers weren't going to... Could Lane be the saboteur? I had to find out. How about it, Mr. Lane?
Certainly.
Guilty by what?
I've been away.
Guilty?
Shit.
Mr. Lane, this robbery is...
As I
hate to say this, Mr. Lane.
So you... That's right. Ugh. Ugh, keep that noxious potion away from me.
Guilty by way...
Sheer fantasy. What possible motivation could I have to sabotage the alarm?
Lane had the kind of looks that only a light... I decided to let Henri's toupee rest in peace. It was Henri's toupee. I didn't want Henri's blood on my hands. There was no way anyone would have survived that. I didn't need to look at the note a second time. It wasn't tough to remember. Poor guy. I could have bought a nice car for the price of that. Spanish modernists certainly didn't come cheap. I wondered how many paintings they'd sold at these prices. As they say, every artist was first an amateur. The poster looked old. I didn't want to touch it. The poster looked old. I didn't want to touch it. The poster looked old. The poster looked... I wondered if there was anything out here I could use to put the heat on Lane. It was a... For a moment I contemplated getting on the next... But a man was dead, and... The menu offered black coffee and a short list of... Excuse me.
Monsieur?
There's just been a robbery at the gallery.
Oh, really?
You don't sound surprised.
All property is theft, monsieur. And all art is property. Therefore, all art is theft. Do you not agree?
Well, when you put it like that, it's hard not to. Did you see anybody run out of the gallery earlier?
There was a beautiful woman with a camera. She was chasing somebody.
Oh, that must have been Nico.
You know her? You surprise me.
Can you tell me anything about the man she was chasing?
I assume, monsieur, that like all of us, he is inherently unknowable.
No wonder this guy's cafe was empty. The gallery owner, Henri, was shot dead trying to stop the robbery.
Life has no meaning the moment you lose the illusion of being eternal.
Right. Did you know him well?
Can we ever truly know another human being, monsieur? He spent little time at the cafe, unlike his friend, Monsieur Lane.
What do you know about Hector Lane?
Lane? Oh, yes. He drinks here sometimes. He slid away last night without paying.
Last night? What sort of time?
After midnight, for sure. If you see him, give him this bill, and tell him to pay up next time.
The check was from last night, but Lane told me he was nowhere near the gallery. This could be the leverage I needed to get the office door code from Lane. What do you know about Le Lizard Bleu?
It's bourgeois, vacuous, and overpriced. Just like its curator Lane. He's always in here, you know, talking art to his latest flusée.
So you and Lane aren't best of pals, huh?
The man is a second-rate critic, peddling meaningless aphorisms.
Would you like a squirt of this?
Are you suggesting I smell, monsieur?
No, sorry. Do you recognize these?
They are nail clippers.
Thank you for your consistent indifference, monsieur.
Perhaps next time you come, I will give you a coffee. Perhaps not.
Take a look at this.
What of it?
It's your bill from the cafe next door.
So?
It's dated yesterday. Last night, in fact. 12:30 to be exact. You said you were out of town. You sure drank a lot of champagne last night without paying the bill. But you told me that you were away from Paris last night. I hate to say it, but that sounds like a lie to me. Tell you what, you give me the code to the door, and the police need never know. A motive and proof of involvement. Not looking good, Mr. Lane.
You are a blackmailer, Stobart.
Just doing my job.
All right. You have me. The number is 6397. But I admit to none of these spurious accusations.
I had the code. The police would be here any moment, so I had to work fast. What was that number again? 642... No.
Everyone, hold it right there.
Damn it.
I am Inspector Navet of the Paris Serious Crime Squad, and I hereby declare this crime scene open. Closed. Now, nobody move, especially you on the floor. Moo, I want a total lockdown. Nobody in or out. Apart from me, of course.
I needed to get back into the gallery, but a familiar figure was guarding the door. It was Sergeant Moo. Our paths had crossed before. Here's my press card. Do you have a statement for the paper?
Yes, madame. Stay away from the crime scene and let the police do their job. And always leave a light on when you go out at night.